Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining here on Unapologetic Progressive. Today we're going to talk about that transgender youth ban case that the Supreme Court heard recently. And of course, back when this was originally heard, I made a video on it discussing how they were probably going to side with the conservative people that wanted to ban gender affirming care for all minors, no matter what that care may have been. And they did. 6-3. All six conservative judges ruling against transgender youth and their families and the doctors that see them, saying that the ban in Tennessee could go into effect just, fine, and that every other ban in the nation could go ahead. Further, in that bill, in that ruling, they also made it to where if one of these cases was to come up again, there was another ban somewhere else, say for gender affirming care for adults or gender affirming care for children, whatever it was, right? That those cases, when in the lower courts, would be seen with the lowest level of scrutiny. Therefore, they would never be, that these bans would never be overturned by lower courts again. That's literally what they did. And so from now on, who knows what's going to happen when these cases come to the Supreme Court or to any court in the country. And one of the reasonings for it was that people under the age of 18 are not considered a protected class. They don't have the right to vote, so they don't have a right, I guess, to health care. And yeah, this is a major blow to the community, a major blow to those children, their parents, and the people that take care of these children. People are of the opinion that and the belief that gender affirming care only refers to reassignment surgeries. Right? But that's not the majority, anywhere close to the majority of the cases for transgender minors. This ban will make it to where these children in every state that has one of these bans cannot reach out for psychological help that they could be feeling, and that they're going to be feeling if they are actually trans when they get into puberty and have no one to talk to about what's going on and how their body is changing to a point that they don't recognize themselves. And on top of that, yesterday it was also announced that the Trump administration is getting rid of the 988 suicide prevention hotline for LGBTQ plus youth. Coincidence? I don't think so. The cruelty is the point for the conservatives. The conservatives on the Supreme Court, the conservative movement in general. Cruelty is the point. So not only can these people not seek care, can they not seek counseling of any kind or any kind of medical intervention of any kind, they now have no one to call. So now more children are possibly going to die. Yes, there are other organizations out there, but they're so swamped. And now that they're going to be losing this, people like the Trevor Project are going to be even more swamped when it comes to these suicide attempt phone calls. And now it's going to be even harder for people to get care. And that's the freaking point of these people. That's what they want to do. That's what they want. They want the trans community to disappear. They want the complete and total erasure of the trans community. That's what these freaking Nazi fuckers want. I can tell you right now, the community's going nowhere. You can do terrible things to this community, and we're always going to be here. Because being trans is not some kind of social contagion. Being trans is something that has existed basically since humanity existed. Now, people didn't understand it back in, when we were first created, when these things first became issues, right? People didn't understand how they worked in, say, ancient times or whatever. But people that were trans still existed back then. But the fact is, the Supreme Court and all these other people hate trans people so much that they don't even care about the logic or the reason of what's going on in the trans community with trans people. The Supreme Court doesn't even care. The government of this country does not care if trans people start dying in groves. They don't care. To the Supreme Court, the blood of every child who commits suicide because of this is on your hands. All 6 of you, conservative justices. The blood of these dead children will be on your hands. Because no matter how much I sit here and tell these people that are affected by this, not to let it hurt them, not to let it affect them, not to do what the conservative movement wants you to do, which is to disappear. There are going to be people that make that choice. And I'm devastated for those people. It wasn't, but God, what, 10 years ago now? That Leila Thompson unalived herself because she felt like she was never going to be able to look the way she wants to look because she had to go through a male puberty. Do you know the torture that can put on somebody in their teens? I do. I was there. I went from being a very happy child, right? I went from being a very happy child to somebody that was unrecognizable to some people because things were happening to my body that I did not like, that I did not feel was me. Yet I had to survive it, and I did. And I only survived it through things my mother told me and things I learned, from other people. Literally multiple times in my teens, I had thoughts of ending myself. Most people didn't know why I had those feelings because I didn't tell anybody. But if it wasn't for people showing up at random times, I wouldn't be here today. My mom always told me that suicide was the coward's way out. And that stuck with me. Now, that hasn't helped when I've been at my lowest. And there were times in junior high and high school where I was very low. But if not for people being around at times I didn't expect them to be, I probably wouldn't be here. So I'm going to say this to the trans community and the trans youth out there. Keep fighting. Keep going. These people, these anti-trans people, they want you to go away. Don't let them have that gratification. Be strong, be you, and keep fighting. Because at some point this will pass. I don't know when, and I don't know how. But we will make it through to the other side of this. Just remember there are people like the Trevor Project that are out there for support. There are other organizations that could set you up, probably help you find support through like PFLAG or your local, your local pride groups that you may come across. Uh, there's support out there, but it's going to be a lot harder for people. The Trevor Project is going to be overrun with calls after this 988 change goes into effect in 30 days. This ban, now that it is official, that all these bans can stay in place, these places like the Trevor Project are going to have longer wait times for phone calls. And the fact that they're doing all this at the same time, right in the middle of Pride Month, it's disturbing. But like I said, the cruelty is the point. But like I said, keep fighting, keep going. The world is better with you in it. Just remember that. Anyhow, I'll see you down the road.